So tonight, you'll have an access document there. We're going to hear from Bernetta Hinterthur. Oh, and let me say also that we're collaborating with Ozark Poets and Writers Collective, which is a series that's been in Fayetteville for more than 25 years now. And they're really wonderful, but there a couple of poets reading with us tonight have come to us by way of Ozark Poets and Writers Collective. So, and Bernetta is one of those poets. So Bernetta Hinterthur, C.D. Eskilson, KFG, Gabrielle Spear, David Brunson reading Daniela Nazareth Romero, Linz McLeod, Liam Hale, Harry McDermott, Heather Dobbins, Pamela K. Santos, and Emma K. Shibley will be reading for us tonight. And we'll go ahead and start with Bernetta. Yay, Bernetta. Thanks for being here.
Okay, thanks, Molly, and thanks for having us. Ozark Poets and Writers Collective is happy to be here tonight. And my poem is My Yoda Meet Your Yoda. Oh, Steve reminded me I didn't describe myself. I have brown hair and I wear glasses and I'm 5'6", and I'm probably older than your parents, but I'm here, so. I wrote this during a snowstorm, and tonight, of course, we've gotten rain. So, my Yoda meet your Yoda. Longing for insight on a cold, snowy day, I look at each flake falling in fearless flight, where it lands, what its job is, where it's going. You want to know exactly where you will be staying once you land. You want to know if you'll be accepted, appreciated. You want to feel that you're finally home. I watch the cold landscape, compassion for all those who have no safe shelter, no warmth, no choices. Yet, for snowflakes, warmth would bring only destruction. Here, they have a chance of becoming a snowman, a great sledding hill, snow ice cream. I cheer their arrival on my front lawn. I bask in their beauty. I have waited years for a snow like this. Life is a conundrum, as beautiful as the falling snow, as ugly as the dirty parking lot snow piles that linger. I love my life and all these wonders, and I love yours. Thank you.
I love your life too, Bernetta.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next poet is C.D. Eskilson.
Hello, my name is CD. I am a white person with long brownish hair in a blue denim shirt with a snake plant behind me. And just as a sort of preface, this poem makes reference to gendered violence. This is Ode to an Anti-Joke after Patrick Rosal. When I love myself again, I'll smell of jasmine strong enough to turn heads on the street. When I love myself again, this girl won't dance through smoke. Her gown won't chafe my skin. The story of my loss is this. I've tried to douse in glitter and be church-like, sway hips like angels do. I've held boys with bombed lips. In turn, I've earned a bloody mouth. I've torn acrylics off in back seats, felt the knife eyes at the laundry folding skirts. At what point is a body just a bivouac? There's a joke about what's similar between a grape and an airplane I heard once on a date. The punchline being that they both have wings, except the grape. If I love myself again, I'll tell this bit to everyone who cannot help but laugh at something so unfunny. In those moments, I'll stop thinking of the thing I am not. Instead, just watch teeth glint inside of smiles.
Every line of that made me go, ugh, beautiful. Thank you. Our next poet is KFG. And Megan, I want to tell you that we've had a name change in one of the poems, so I'm going to send you a chat.
Hi there. I'm KFG. I also go by Sprout. My pronouns are they, them. I am a white person with curly, somewhat green hair, wearing a red shirt that says Protect Trans Youth and a Pac Man earring. Um, I'm here from Grand Rapids and I've been following Open Mouth for a while, so I'm really happy to be here and soak in all these words tonight. It's been really lovely so far. I will give a soft trigger warning for transphobia. This piece is called Boy Who Cries. Boy who cries. Wolf, did you ever know he rolls boy around confusedly, but never outside half jokes in solitude? My bleeding boy bleats from a smoky forest of a mouth, dangling tongues, red rain. You plunged with disbelief, reciting her birth name as if right, as if you could wrestle up the dead. No, the boy isn't a liar when he cries. He wrestles limp words, throat dying to make origami in the image of heaven. Seeds cannot wring out flowers with no tear to grow through. So the boy's blood is not betrayal of the boy. Look at the cities pollinated with pointillist mess, bed sheets, boxer crotch, kitchen tiles, black thong. Didn't you know your child was always more of a planet, more like rivers shedding skin? There are millions of ways to dying, and this truth translates within your mouth, flooding inside out. Thank you.
Thank you. I noticed some resonance between your poem and CDs. The In turn I've earned a bloody mouth, and my bleeding boy bleeds from a smoky forest of a mouth. Oh, I love it. Our next poet is Gabrielle Spear.
Hi. I am joining today from Brooklyn, New York. But I'm originally from Northwest Arkansas. I grew up in Bentonville, so I'm happy to be here and be a part of Open Mouth. So I'm going to describe myself. I am a white woman with a pixie cut, some pink eyeshadow on, some yellow earrings, and bookshelves in the background. And the poem I'm going to read requires a bit of a trigger warning. It is a poem about the Rwandan genocide and has imagery around kind of the aftermath of war. So it's called Abecedarian, beginning with crucifixion and ending with rebellion. Afterwards, there was no myrrh or linen cloth, only wild dogs gorging from his pierced side, beasts anointing flesh in communion with each other. Later, anxious pilgrims will clasp the shape of his absence like children to their mother's thigh, drag longing from their heart's sepulchre. In Rwanda, in the after, famished beasts, elated by their rain-bloated feast, stole bodies from macheted crucifixion. Find the place where the present absentee rot, and you'll find too a mass grave, echoes of his eyes, his limbs, his jaw, his hands reaching towards heaven. Empire culls his fragments from ransacked lands, interning his shadow in museums, assurance that no one dare again question its jurisdiction. In the Gikongoro Hills, there are whispers of mothers who take bone as keepsake, rescue femur from the oblivion of state ledger, if only for a chance to bury an echo of what is theirs, mourn without directive or fee, nestle stray bone into dirt, orchestrating a funeral of their own making, while pouring sorghum beneath the quiet of the banana tree. Name a more rancid trickery than the capital a state gleans from resurrecting their captive to build a museum on the third day. Under the cover of darkness, the Galilean mother scoured Golgotha's violations in search of the one called King. Wading through agony and weeks of xylotomous bones, she buried a potential remnant of her once womb in her chest, yoke repossessed to its origins. Name a greater zealot than a mother, secret in clenched hand, prostrate before a shallow grave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabrielle. And I have to say, I'm always like really impressed with the ways that Abecedarians get X's in there. Beautiful. Yeah. Our next poet is Daniela Nazareth Romero, read by David Brunson. Hi, David.
Hey, I'm here. Yes, so I'm David. I'm a white guy with a beard that's a lot longer than it was before the pandemic. Oh, and I'm wearing this really cool Magic the Gathering Kaldheim shirt modeled in the style of like Norwegian black metal art. So I just got it like 2 days ago, so might as well include it. And the poet I'm reading is a Venezuelan migrant poet who's currently living in Concepcion, Chile, and the poem's called Baltic Sea. But is it cool if I read like a couple sentences in Spanish first to give a sense of the original?
Megan, are you comfortable with that?
Yes, it just won't be interpreted, but go for it.
Okay, if not, that's fine. I just want to, give.
No, I'll
voice-
just let them know that it's in Spanish, and I'll catch what I can get with my little bit of Spanish, and then that's fine.
And we can
Okay.
direct people to the access copies too. I want to hear it.
Okay, yeah, and it's just to use the author's own words for a little bit. Mar Báltico. La sequía me persigue. Mi cuerpo de neonata no expuesta a la divinidad navega en la bolsa de mi padre. Hay una manta que cubre el rostro leve, su olor salitre me sabe maldita y arde. Mi cara se encendía y me preguntas por qué nací tan enferma. Just to give you a sense. And here is my translation, Baltic Sea by Daniela Nazareth Romero. The drought dogs me. My newborn body, unexposed to the divine, sails upon my father's raft. A blanket covers my slight face, its scent of salt tastes damned and burns. My face catches fire, and you ask me why I was born so sick. The drought dogs me. My father has forgotten my tiny body beneath the Caribbean sun. I sail like a tropical mirage orphaned by night. Father, I've gathered these snails for you. Father, I've written a poem to read after your death. I whisper it from this feeble raft, and I tremble. I whisper it so your motionless body might surface. A dark sea swept you off while I folded my hands far away from home. You are ash, neither mine nor God's. Scatter yourself across this dying gossamer body. Blow the salt from my small, sightless chest and give your daughter eternal rest. In the end, I always return to shadow. This raft I inhabit has been detained in front of our own kind. If I came from so far away, it was only to whisper how easy it is to sink to the sad animal of the Baltic. My frozen hands try clapping into the emptiness. Nobody will save us when the dead bloom like bacteria in our eyes. Nobody will save us. I've come from so far away and hear nothing but hunger as I see you swimming on your back, but not drowning. Nothing was ever heavier than my bones upon this raft. Never anyone, never. Just the dry Baltic wind stumbling across my face in this final sign of the cross. Thank you. That's Daniela Nazareth.
Thank you, David. And for those of you who have ever been to our retreat, you may remember that David cooked all of your food and it was all delicious. So
Thanks for having me read.
also he's a poet, turns out, but also an amazing cook. Okay, our next poet is Linz McLeod.
Hi there. I'm Linz, and I am a white person wearing remarkably huge black glasses, and I have blonde curly hair, and I'm with my girlfriend here, who is a black woman and is the most beautiful person in the world.
So
Yeah.
embarrassed.
Been waiting to do that. So this is Virago. Sister mine, I came to you a broken son, uttered love in the wheezing breath of a doe run down by decades of hounds, mistook the curvaceous life cycle of a star for simple weakness. Virago, a fishwife, a woman with a mouthful of brine. Shostra, slinking downtown via wooden-slatted, well-trod orbit, gyrating on this dusky axis, ochre sprinkles around the slated plains of your rounded belly, while the beat hammers every foot to the floor. Virago, a termagant, a domineering and bad-tempered hellcat. Sur, in the semicircle of lived experience, achievement splinters into compass points. These pierce our hearts, hoist our bodies aloft. Memories are worth more than trenched spikes, but even now, even still, every woman is a village under fire. Virago, a battle axe, a dragon, a weapon, a warrior who can hold herself. Hermana, command me, sister, through glen and fold. Sweet structures built with our own hands have birthed a dusky swell of little hands, raised with our mushroomed voices in the dawn. Thank you.
Thank you, Linz. Oh, I love it. The curvaceous life cycle of a star. Our next poet is Liam Hale. Liam, are you here? Maybe not. I don't know if Liam made it tonight. So let's save that for later because maybe Liam comes later. We'll see. Our next poet is Harry McDermott. Hi, Harry. You're muted.
There you go. Oh, good. Yay. Hello. I'm white and I'm old enough to be your father, but in a good way. And I'm from Fayetteville, Arkansas. And this is my poem. By the way, I love your poetry. And I'm going to thoroughly enjoy plagiarizing all of you later.
No plagiarizing, Harry.
Well, okay. Going to gone. Winter winds in a big hurry soar into the Tower of Babel my parents built. Freeze the building stones, crack the mortar, push me out of a world that no longer makes sense. The sunrise who gave me my morning is now a sunset taking away my day. Light spreads out, dissipates into nothing, with no promises of a better tomorrow I can see. My dreams are ripe with wings made of poetry. My thoughts flow nice through my head. I'm ready to run away, to love better, dance better, and then die better. I've been living too long inside of the layers of my parents' landfill. I'm on my way to make things happen. You know what I'm talking about. It's time to say goodbye. Dad calls out, check the oil, wear your coat. Mom orders, eat right, do right, be right. God says, I'm the winter wind, the sunrise, the sunset. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry.
You're
Who
welcome.
promises not to plagiarize anything. Our next poet is the lovely and talented Heather Dobbins.
Good evening. I'm white. I have long curly brown hair, and I have the classic setting behind me, the big old bookcase. This is a Memphis Hoodoo poem. Memphis is where I'm originally from, although I live in Fort Smith now. As far as a content warning, it's a women's revenge narrative. You'd have done the same. Watch him lie in my face, right in it. He said, I was glad to make the coffee, let you rest a few more minutes. As if he could step out of bed without me feeling his fox will. He kept on. You just want a girl so you can have her here. True, our boys work field. Don't try to make me smile like they once did. I knew that pass. Only some men please for more than a few years. I told him, only God knows if it's a girl. I didn't say that God tells us plenty if we just shut up and see. God let me see my husband chop that moccasin's head off like we all do, but then he boiled it in my coffee. He had said, we have just enough boys eating like men now, no more. He had looked at my stomach, baby swole more months than the boys had. He said, you'll both be wanting more. He slapped my stirring spoon against his palm. He was after the baby and risked me too. He couldn't lay that trick on me, that devil snuff. Trying me like I don't know. My hack ball gives answers. Swing is yes and stillness means no. I collect broom straw, wintergreen oil, a bit of my mama's gravestone, gardenia, and a thread from my marrying dress. I ask the necessary questions. What is venom to years of listening? Fool ass, what I know will kill him dead.
Thank you so much, Heather. You know I love your poems. Our next poet is Pamela K. Santos, who I haven't had the pleasure of seeing in a long time. So thank you for being here, Pamela.
Okay, I hope I do this right. Thank you for having me. Salamat. Thank you. I'm a Filipina middle-aged woman wearing a black and rose pattern dress, black hair with blonde flashes, necklace with letter P, and gold door knocker earrings. I'm a Pinay Yorker in Portland, so I'm always going to rep Queens super hard. Saying Grace, a litany for adult orphans, after Jose Olivares, after Safri El Hilo. Kumain ka na ba? You don't know what it's like to enter a house without food as a greeting. You're asked about your hunger before you're asked, how are you? You go to parties your whole life and never know hunger until you leave behind where you grew up. You hear the words that titas say at the same time you feel them crab claw your arms. Feel yourself led across the cacophony of Magic Mike karaoke, above the gossip and balitaan, led like a baby to metal buffets. You see the plates before you even answer the question. Did you know a way into a home without a plate? Kumain ka na ba? You begin the habit of pre-gaming before you go to your white friends' parties. There's never enough food. You take crudités as a personal affront. Your eyes search for spoons even when there is no soup. You didn't know forks and spoons were not married to the plate until you host your first grown-up dinner after college. You wish for a better life for spoons outside of a Filipino family's house. You could start an appreciation society for big spoons, but instead you find Facebook groups for cooking Filipino food. Kumain ka na ba? In your first tongue, the word for courage, for strength, shares a room of meaning with the potency of vinegar, of kape, of alak. Your cousins back home used to hold all-night drinking contests with you to see how tapang their balagbayan pinsan was. You were too young to know the proof in lambanog, but you proved being matapang ran in your blood. Cheese, lumpia soaked up the alak up in the Tagaytay mountain bar. Your cousins taught you about balut and pulutan the same summer they taught you how to drive stick in Ate's doorless Jeep. Years later, you teach your friends how to roll cheese lumpia even though you can't get the Kraft cheese cylinder in a tin. You host lumpia making parties even with your non-Filipino friends. You forgive your friends for their ugly lumpia. They just need practice. Kumain ka na ba? You miss the way your Lola sniffs you while hugging. You forgot that kisses don't always require lips. Do Lolas protect their apo by breathing in the malas with that kiss? You forgot you used to call your Lola a witch when you were a single-digit age salvaje. You forgot you would hide from her when her teeth were resting in a glass of water. You forgot that she made every after-school merienda from scratch and nothing looked like the food on TV. Kumain ka na ba? You didn't know there was a Sari Sari store in Mount Scott. You recognized the words on the awning even if no one ever translated it for you before. An explosion of colors greet you inside. You think salamat when you smile at the man behind the counter. He's not Filipino, but at least he's brown. You search for some magic lamp among the shelves. You didn't even know you had wishes needing to be granted. You touch everything, as if fingers could read labels better than your puro English na yung brain, as if the pictures needed to be pamanod, like when titas would touch the Santo Niño in single file procession as they pass. You almost kiss your fingertips out of habit. As if answering your need for the protection that Lolas bestow, a tita you're not related to enters the store. Who else wears dusters out of the house? You find a way to practice your mother tongue. You find the words somewhere to tell her you belong here, with her, with the San Miguel's that you can now buy, but not for $18, sino ka ba? With the tuyo at dilis, it all comes back to you. Kumain ka na ba? You're too old to spread Vicks on your neck and chest. You're not too old to know the healing power of salabat. You'll peel ginger with a spoon like Doreen taught you before her pop-up. Boil the bald bulb thumbs on the stovetop. Squeeze the clover honey into the cup before you blow on it. You have instant salabat tea crystals, but you feel connected to something older when you peel with spoons. You didn't know when you started to Lola yourself. Adulting surprises you. You learn to Lola others after some time, bring salabat for your new cousins you're not related to, mail malunggay tea packets by a company in Quezon City to your Viet friend who can't shake their cough this winter. You remember how Mary Lou brought you bouquets upon bouquets of fresh malunggay leaves from Seattle. You are now a sorceress with sinigang. You know the tomato is just as necessary as the tamarind. You've graduated from Mamacita's sinigang sa sampalok mix packets. Kumain ka na ba? You dreamed your Lola wasn't dead. Your banana leaves wrapped Lola in a suman sarcophagus. Itlog na maalat cut in half, laying where her eyes used to be. Lumpia like a cigar in her mouth. You dreamed the lumpia stays in place, even with no real teeth to keep them. You dreamed your Lola wasn't dead, and when you woke, you smelled embutido like she used to make for you every time you came home. Kumain ka na ba? You use the same ingredients with your new families. They don't know you're saying I love you, but you say, kain na tayo anyway. Salamat.
Thank you so much, Pamela. I remember you talking about that lumpia. Yeah, anyway, last time we talked, that was part of the conversation. Just checking to see if Liam ever joins. I can't see everybody. Liam, are you here? No, okay. So then our last poet is Emma K. Shipley.
Hi there, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great, thank you so much. I'm Emma. I am a white person with long, straight brown hair and brown eyes and eyebrows and kind of pinkish skin today. Behind me is a window and darkness outside, and I'm wearing a dark colored tank top. And I'll be reading a short poem that is a work in progress. So right now I'm just calling it work in progress. If the poem is a face, then I want to eat your poem. If the poem is a screen, then I want to load your cartridges and start rolling. If the poem is erosion, then I want to poem you. If you're laying it on thick, then I want a knife to butter, better spread you on toast. If your poem is a building, then I'd like to call attention to the hardwood floors, mid-century finishes, and crown molding. If your bones are a home, then I agree the sconce is a nice touch. If the poem is the voice, then I like your sound play, used here, here, and here. If the voice is your poem, I won't tell anyone how the volta ends. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. And I hear that resonance with like your voice in the last poem you read here, that like humor comes in. I love that.
Oh, thank you so much.
And thanks for like letting us end on something that's fun. So that was the last of our opening readers. I want to just say thank you to all of you for reading. And I love how everybody's poem starts to resonate with one another, right? Like Pamela was pointing out, there's these last few poems like kind of make you hungry. And we have that blood and mouths in the beginning. And maybe mouths could also translate to hunger in that way too. Feel free at this point if you want to just like take a little break, but I'm going to keep moving us forward just so that we're not all on Zoom eternally. So also I want to thank Megan for adjusting during that Spanish moment. You're wonderful. Thank you for collaborating in that way. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about our featured poet, Rebecca Morgan Frank, who when I founded this series with my friend MD Myers years and years ago, it's been 5 years since we started it. So we emailed Morgan right in the very beginning, I think, and we just were never able to sort of get it together. So we're really excited to finally have an opportunity to host Morgan here tonight. She led a really awesome workshop earlier today that got, we got tons of first lines, and it was just such a creative, wonderful space. So thank you for being here, Morgan. I'm going to read you Morgan's bio and then hand it over to her. Rebecca Morgan Frank's fourth collection of poems is Oh, You Robot Saints, out from Carnegie Mellon University Press. Her poems have recently appeared in The New Yorker, American Poetry Review, 32 Poems, Women's Review of Books, Pleiades, Plowshares, and the Kenyon Review. She is co-founder and editor of the online literary journal Memorious. So thank you so much for being here, Rebecca. Morgan, just reading.
Thank you so much. I am to describe myself, a white woman with dark blonde curly hair and a side ponytail that came back from the 80s, I guess, and some black framed glasses. Behind me is a wall of poetry books in white bookshelves, and there's some little robot tchotchkes around on the shelves as well. And I just want to thank Molly and Gwen and the whole Open Mouth team for having me here, and also the wonderful readers. It's just been such a pleasure to sit here and listen to these poems. And I'm not one of those people who can write in the chat while I'm reading and listening, but it was really just absolutely lovely roundup of poets. And thank you for those poems, and this afternoon's poems as well. I feel well fed in poetry today. This first poem, I'm going to start with a poem from my first book, Little Murders Everywhere, because this is a poem that has new resonance for me during the pandemic. It's called For the Solitary Diner. I love you. I love nobody. I love the way the storm is coming down, sky against ground, and my electric-driven bones begin to ache, and the harpist across the hall plays out our melancholy. I love nobody. I love you, whoever you are, walking up the stairs, past my floor, or on the street down below where umbrellas fill and collapse, collapse and fill. I love every rickety framework that fills with wind, that holds for you. I love nobody. There is nobody to love, and yet I still love you, whoever you are, sitting on the subway beside me, or setting off the bells that sing to me from a distance. Wherever you are, my fate, my melody, my untapped figure, my nobody, my you. I love you. I love nobody. I love you every time I see you leaving the theater alone or spooning your soup with solitude in the cafe. I see you in every part of the city I trespass through. How could I not? You, the ones I could love, you, the yous, the millions of yous, the nobodies. I'm going to swerve over to reading from my new book, Oh You Robot Saints, and I'm going to show you the cover because this next poem is about this guy who's a 16th century monk automaton, and this is him with his robes removed, his outer casing removed, and x-rayed by the Smithsonian Museum. This is called Monk Automaton circa 1560. 1. Looking at you now is like seeing a god or a king naked and starving in a field. Stripped of your damask robe and wooden limbs, you've been skinned to the iron spine that stems your clockworks to your cracked face. This is when you are most mortal. 2. You could hold him in both hands, a key turn spiriting a clockwork miracle, each supplicant kneeling to its absence of breath, blessed by his cams and levers, the secrets beneath his robes. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. His poplar jaw drops prayer, shuts in a wooden cross kiss as his right hand beats the absence of a heart. He wears the face of Saint Didacus, the tripod wheels of Hephaestus, son of the gods, father of the future, the monk almost floats. 3. Robots can do almost anything you please. They're up on sexual favors, cordless vacuuming, and martyring themselves by bomb. Less effective at deep tissue massage, excellent at listening to senior citizens, working on parking your car. What the future brings is nothing we haven't seen, this quest to be little gods and make what will do our bidding. The medieval monk who doled out benedictions arose from a ruler's dream and was then fathered by a clockmaker. The real monk now sits alone in the back room, smokes a cigar, enjoys a glass of whiskey. He's outsourced the job. The real monk is on the dole. The real monk is waiting in the parking lot for offers of day labor. The real monk is unloading boxes at Costco. The real monk sits in the factory, building himself by hand. This new book came out of my interest and obsession with this thousands of years of humans trying to imitate life. And a lot of those makers for a very long time were men and who were making women. This next poem is called The Mechanical Eves. Oh, man has made her. Mechanical Eves have been around for thousands of years, fetching your tea, serving you wine. The early female automatons didn't have a mind, were built from the ribs of men's brains, from their longing to be gods and make a life like a woman could. Oh, man has made her. Oh, man has made her, and she is uncanny and infertile. And so she must be destroyed, like when the captain threw Descartes' automaton daughter to sea, or how Edison's prize talking girls are rumored to be buried alive by the thousands. Dig one up and she will say the Lord's Prayer, a nursery rhyme. She won't speak her own mind. Oh, man has made her in his own image for beauty and service. Oh, man has made her a more pliable Eve with no desire of her own, sold her online for XXX99, given her a hollowness of the body, a phonograph for a heart. The first time I read that poem to someone, I said the XXX99, and they pointed out that they heard it as XXX99. So I'm still working out which is the way to read it. We can weigh in. Tell me what you think. Invention number 1. I remember what it was to see something emerge, like an idea hooked out of a fishbowl. Beyond the desert, there was always a tree line. It was singular. It dotted the landscape like a state line. If you climbed the gnarled branches, you could see down the roads to faraway gardens. You could plan for flowers and end up digging for turnips. Plant berry bushes and up came honeysuckle. The vine trailed up and over all of the unseen walls. You never knew what was crawling up the other side towards you. Sometimes discovery is quiet, sometimes simultaneous and loud. I mentioned Descartes' daughter in the earlier poem, and this is a legend of something that he is said to have made and done after his small daughter died. Descartes' daughter. You can recreate such tiny dimensions, can even make the body move, mold hollow ears to speak to, comb her hair, locks made out of the real thing. Encased in a wooden box, she sailed to Sweden with him, her automaton girl body built by his grieving hand. His own Francine had died at only 5. This wasn't at odds with his treatise on man. Bodies are machines made no differently than a medieval fountain's automaton moving through cause and effect, like how the sea captain, terrified, threw her soulless body overboard. Meanwhile, Descartes' own death remains contested. You might ask what sort of maker sets up so many possibilities for destruction. But consider the clockmaker's job to design for rust and wear. You'll have to go elsewhere for philosophies of bodies in motion, the collision of 2 machines, and what to do if one has a soul or a mind. Those who took possession of Descartes' skull graffitied the surface with their signatures as if to lay claim to all it once housed. It's not hard to imagine him alive, cradling the automaton in his cabin, begging his God to give back the soul to the machine he had made. Elegy. A mother is a state of mind. The chick in its nest content has no awareness it can fall, be nursed or gassed, be kicked to the side or buried, only knows the ache of hunger for her return. What it means to be the body, what it means to the body to be filled with a hunted love. But the cuckoo leaves its young in a stranger's nest, and the brush turkey chick must find for herself, abandoned in a giant mound. See the slant of the story I tell, as if a mother was meant to have been there, as if the brush turkey chick, flying within moments of hatching and burrowing solo out of the warm encasing of organic matter, could know it had ever been left. My mother passed away right when I was starting researching this book. And I had been reading about this automaton park in Hesdin hundreds of years ago that was sort of like an amusement park where everything was a joke. You would trigger things and it would pour flour or water on you. And it was supposed to be a funny poem about that. And it went in another direction, as poems do, touching on the moment I was in. Self-operating machines. Everything is a clock inside, geared and oiled to sing and turn, the body even, no different than that of medieval mechanical monkeys lining the bridge in the park at Hesdin, repelted with badger fur every year. For the surface of life runs by a mere series of cause and effects, buried beneath with care and craft. In grief, the gears and springs spin on, the water pumps through the pipes, and the body moves. We were all once part of a set of nesting dolls, a robot designed in the body of another robot. And as always, the shell falls away, rusts, decays, an engineered failure. Early automata were considered miracles, but of course had no sense of their makers. They never saw their mother's body graying on display or felt themselves unmade by absence, as if a spring let loose a monkey's howl, so real it sounds like lament. Aquanauts. They've made robotic aquanauts now. Part humanoid, part submarine. Has anyone ever imagined sending fish to the moon instead of dogs? Something about having no feet to float up off the ground. An ocean itself is a galaxy. Salt planets drowning in darkness. Jellyfish glide like slow motion shooting stars. If I thought I could, I'd swim to the moon, Meanwhile, the earth spins and grows things, thirsty. Somewhere an old ship sinks below the horizon of sleep, runs aground at daylight. I wonder how it feels to be in light years instead of miles. If when a rocket falls, it feels like sinking, the world growing colder and denser as you descend. It's so beautiful out of the side of my eye, watching Megan's work here. I'm a beginning sign language learner, and so I keep wanting to look over and see what learn the vocabulary of my poems. So thank you. Thank you. Not everybody's else's bestiary yet. Then came the soft animals. Oh, I just want to start with something. Everything that exists in this poem exists in the world, just to unsettle you a little. Not everybody else's bestiary yet. Then came the soft animals, the snake and octopus slinking along. You've seen the octopus as escape artists, sneaking out of cracks and holes, hiding in a teapot, plotting the big adventure. Now she moves through chemical reaction, the first soft robot taken to the sea, while the real thing once disassembled her own aquarium, waiting in a puddle to be found. Now imagine her robot double dismantling at will, that which we tried to contain swimming off into the deep, re-emerging, like the snake that slithers into your garden, its trapezoidal kirigami cuts and plastic skin keep it crawling through bursts of air. An innocuous, slinky, and colorful garb, this robot can sidewind anywhere. Now ask why everything now harbors a weapon in your mind. Do you dread the snake under your own bed? Is it the real tooth and venom you fear, or this programmed body double here? We're told of a fall, a fault built on flesh, the flesh of a fruit, the flesh of a woman. Now this man-made flesh, a reptilian test of applied knowledge, industrial sin. Enter the latest sensation, a cockroach robot sliding through cracks to get to you, away from you. Extinction has been eradicated. Bought, replacements are on order. Enter Robotanica, the world of the wild robot, woodpecker, dragonfly, kangaroo, child, unborn. They can all do the job. 2 by 2, battery powered to keep the world moving, replacing their organic prototypes, centipedes, spiders, termites, and bees. These are just the beginnings of an evolving robo-nation. As if someone has decided to revise, start over, this time using human labor, invention. This is the last poem, and I want to thank you all again for listening. In a lot of ways, this book is also elegiac, and this is the first part of a longer poem called The Girlfriend Elegies. The Girlfriend Elegies. I did not find the body. It was wintertime where I was, women gathered in bars, their bodies like bare trees, naked arms giving fruit to hands in gestures. Ice was everywhere. I could still feel the command of your hands around a woman's waist when two-stepping. It was the only time you wore joy, your anger muscular in your small, tired body that always hurt. I had seen your childhood once. There was a hole in the wall of the living room. It led somewhere. Outside, the land was dry, grassless. We had come to rescue the dog whom we found wrestling her chain in the dirt. There was a lake somewhere nearby, but no sign of it except boats and cars. Later, I learned your father was a sculptor, your mother what we now call a hoarder. The road home was long, more dryness. Even the dog was wrapped in silence. We slept in the back of the truck, our heads at the opening, watching stars fall. The future then a mirage, a place I'd save you. I bought you things on my credit card. We drank in the bars where everyone knew you, and the southwest summer burned through. And then there were months in which I tried to escape your drowning like a clasp around my throat. I fled in the night. Years passed. In the dry climates, there's less of an odor. There was no sign of the dog when they found you dead in your chair. It had been days. I thought of the woman in Croatia, dead for decades in her apartment, no one to find her, find you. There was a word for you back then, mischievous in that one picture when we went to the mountains, your body awakening from the mysterious illness, alert fawn, a boy body freed momentarily from a terrible girlhood. Which is not to say you would have ever wanted to be a man, which is not to say I could have saved you. Thank you so much.
Morgan, I hope that you read the chat, because there are there's a lot of praise in there for you. Those are just gorgeous poems. Thank you. That's the end of our poems for this evening. But if you want to stick around and hang out for a minute, you're welcome to. Just a couple of last things that Gwen is putting in the chat. I want to remind you, if you loved these poems, which how could you not, to buy Morgan's book. That's really important for poets, that their books be out there and circulating in the world. So please do. And then also, if you want to catch up with us next month, please sign up for our newsletter. Please fill out this access feedback form if you used any of those services. We'd really like to know how we can improve, if there's a way for us to do that. And also just a reminder that if you want to support us on Patreon, we would be really grateful. We're trying to make sure that we have sustainable funding for our amazing interpreter, Megan, who does such a wonderful job. Like, it's not easy to interpret poems in this way. So she's amazing. She's wonderful. All of you poets are wonderful. You are so kind and so generous, and we just love you. So thanks for being here. Come back, stick around for a minute if you feel like chatting.